All right, guys. Here is the Claire Redfield from RE2 inspired kit. Um, I've actually had this one done for a couple months now and got sidetracked. I guess when I made the kit, I got sidetracked making this holster, this hard holster for Michael at Fin Fiction Props for this. Um, for his holster that he offers for her, but I don't have this permanently glued on because I'm going to paint this one. But anyway, so here's the assembly for it. Set this one off to the side over here. This is the parts list that's on my website. It's got the list of everything that comes with it. Set this off to the side. We'll grab the kit here. This is how it will come. Get our parts. This one's a very easy assemble. I didn't try to go too crazy with this one with the fully functional slide and stuff. Not everybody likes the difficult, more advanced assembly ones. So I got to kind of pick and choose and ask the community what they want. But here's the slide, here's the receiver, here's the bottom of the mag. We have our left-right grips. This is a very easy assemble. This is our orange tip that we have to put on when we're done. This is our black tubing, which replicates the wire. Okay. The wire that will come from the flashlight up to the pressure switch on the grip. Our barrel end. These are our two side safeties, the left and right. This is our hammer. This is the slide lock lever on the side. This is this piece right here. These two pieces go together pretty much just like that once we put it on, and it forms the bracket of the flashlight mount right there. So trying to still need to look at what's going on with that camera. This little dude right here is the rear sight that goes on the slide. This is the flashlight or not the flashlight, the laser pointer for the front and our trigger. Then we have a little bag of hardware here, which it's not much at all. We have a spring. We have a set screw. This is not a screw with the head missing. It's called a set screw. And get this. Ooh, there we go. Let that adjust. That if you notice, there's an opening on one end that's for a small 1.5 millimeter Allen wrench that goes in there. So any of those little fold out Allen kits that are metric will have what you need to go in there, or let's see, or one of these like little bit driver kits. This is they sell these at like Harbor Freight for like $10, I think. And they have all the bits that you could, I mean, I've got sets of them sitting around everywhere, and there's another set over here. I try to buy enough sets to have some everywhere, but I always end up carrying them around, and they all like accumulate in one place. But then we have our 4 flat blade screws that will for holding the grips on. And that is it. That's as simple as it gets. Okay, as far as the glue goes, you can use regular thick super glue, but the only thing about that is it sets up kind of quick. So if you don't get it exactly where you want when you're trying to set it up, or you get too much, it kind of fumes out and leaves ghost marks and stuff like that. This is the glue I use, and I finally got with them, and I actually stock this now on the website. I've just been using it for a long time and have had awesome success with it. It's just called a CA glue. It's 2 parts. Most people go, it's not 2 parts, it's a glue, and then you have an activator. Shut up. Not going to argue with you. 2-part CA glue. You have the glue, which is a slow setting glue, and then you have the spray activator that once you put the glue on, put your parts together, spray it, and within seconds, it's set up and set where you want it to be at. This is the size that you get. This is enough to probably do 5 or 6, maybe 7 regular size kits like this. I think this bottle, there's not that much left in there. And I've done the Winchester with it. I did this display one with it. I've done like 6 or 7 kits with just this little bottle. So it goes a long, long ways. And so, yeah, anyway, so there's the glue. Go ahead and get the top off of that, and we'll get our lid taken off of here. And we'll just jump right into this. So probably the first thing we'll do before we actually attach the slide to the frame, I'm going to go ahead and put the rear sight on just because it's easier to hold. If you notice, if you look down, like, whoops, the top of it's got a notch in it, which is what you look through. If you look at it from the side, you'll see there's a slant back. What we want to do is there's a notch right here on the back of the slide. This is just going to get glued right there, like that, with the slope going backwards to the back of it. So what I'm going to do is get me just a little bitty drop of glue here, and hopefully it hasn't dried shut again. Nope, it has not. A little bit of glue there. And a lot of the times you'll notice when I'm assembling this stuff that I will spray the part that I'm about to stick to the glue. This one I'm not going to yet because I don't want it to set up. I want to get it exactly where I want it. And spray it. And this is one of these things that you can paint your slide and then glue this on, so that way it maintains the good separation of like a separate part, you know, like it looks. Or, I mean, you can glue it on and paint it together, whatever. This is going to be our barrel insert, and it's just going to go in there just like that. This is another one of these things that you paint this separate if you want to, and then put it in. That way you make sure you get good coverage there. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back side there. I'm going to kill this other light again. There we go. Yeah, it's just too much light. It bleeds everything out. Sorry about that. Now I'm just going to spray down in the hole. And I'm just going to put that dude in there. Let it set for a second. And we're good to go, I think. Let it sit for another second. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to clean off little boogies that I left on there when I was cleaning this up. Okay. Yep, we're good. So now I'm just going to go ahead and attach this. So on this, pretty much what touches mainly is, well, actually, here, I forgot. Because you can do it either way. This is just a little bit easier way. And I put a hole in here. Instead of putting the spring in here, putting it in there, trying to fight with holding it up in there, what you can do is get your little driver or your Allen wrench, whatever you're going to use. And I have to get the correct size one because I never have the correct size one ready for whenever I get ready to shoot these videos. So, there it is, I think. Is this it? Close enough. All right. So let me knock that out. What I always do is just, all you got to do is put the set screw to there, and I'll look down. I do like a twist and look down and make sure that I'm 90 degrees. Then I look at another angle and make sure I'm 90 degrees as I'm starting to twist in, and there you go. It's literally that simple. And if you look, well, I need to do something about it because that light on is a little too much most of the time. Anyways, so what I do is I'll screw this in right until it protrudes, starts to protrude and stop. Because I'm going to want to put my trigger in here. And you can look through the back side and maybe line up the hole if I can. There it is. So if you start screwing this in and you feel resistance, go in a couple turns and then be like, and if you feel it like stop or start pressing really hard, you miss the hole. Just back up, move it around a little bit until you get it in there, and then what it'll be all floppy and stuff like that. And we'll screw that in until it's countersunk there a bit, and it's countersunk in there. It's countersunk in there. We're good to go. So what we're going to do here is this spring goes down in the hole, and it will be pressed down by gluing this on. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to put glue. And actually, I'll just do it on this. We're going to put glue. If you put it right on the face and you put it too much of it, when you push this down, you're going to squish it out. So what I do is I actually put the glue. If I just quit slinging stuff everywhere. What I do is I put glue along the edge right here at like a 45. So a little bit is on this side, a little bit is on the bottom side. So when you put this on, half of it squishes down this side and half of it squishes this way. And do that way, because you'll probably paint these separate. You don't have to. You can glue it all together and paint it if you want to. I just find pre-assembling everything, seeing where you do and don't need to paint, and taking it back apart and painting the parts separately is much easier. But so I'm going to go ahead and take my glue, which I hope I didn't just let it dry, because I left the bottle laying on its side. I'm going to go ahead and run me some all the way down. Don't mind my shaky hands. I've had too much coffee. It's almost like a disclaimer I need to put in my videos. Don't pay attention to my shaky hands because I've had too much coffee, because it's in every one of them. So I'm going to take this dude and I'm going to press it straight down, pull it back, and I'm going to kind of wiggle it a little bit, make sure the glue gets good in contact everywhere. And now I'm just going to hold pressure on it and give that activator time to activate that glue thoroughly. Because we do have pressure of the spring pushing up. So, you don't want to like put it on there and then immediately let go. Just give it time to activate really good. So that should be, so we're now together. It's good to go on that. Go ahead and put these grips on real quick. Little flat blade screws. So I'm just going to take this and move it to where it's lined up with the holes. And do just a little twist. I hate flat blade screws. We're just going to screw that one in. I'm going to take this one, screw it in. Finish screwing that down in there. There we go. We're going to take this one, do the same thing. Our little two screws on the side here. There we go. Do a little twist, and these grips, again, this is something that you'll paint separate. Because here's the thing: of course, if you screw them on, one, you're going to paint over your screws, but two, the cool thing about painting parts separate and putting them together is you maintain all these really cool seam lines. Like if you were to glue this slide onto here and paint and all of this, you're most likely going to fill in this line right here with paint. So then you're going to lose that separation line, which that separation line should be there. Some separation lines shouldn't be, and some should be. It just depends on the type of part. Kind of like on this Winchester stock, this is actually two separate pieces right here. is glued together right here. Of course, you don't want to see that seam line, so you glue it together and then prime it and paint it and stuff. Okay. So let's see. All right, we got our grips on now. We need to go in and, well, here, we'll go ahead and do we'll finish up the back end back here. We have our safety switches. That's the incorrect. You see there's a little swoop in here and a little hole there and a hole here. So you'll put that on and you'll want to glue them down in this position. This is the safety position. Keeps the slide from being, you know, if this was all functional, keeps the slide from being racked. So down is where you want them. So I'm just going to get me a little glue here. Yeah. A little bit of glue. And I'm going to go ahead and miss my part the first couple times I spray. Excuse me. So we'll just set that there. We're going to flip it over. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to spray that. Bring that down level. Yep, that's level. All right, so that's done. Flip it back over. You have this long little slot in the side of the frame right here. We have our little safety catch. And it's going to go on just like that. Our safety catch, our slide catch. We'll go ahead and just take the glue. And this is also the same thing as like with a slide. I'm just putting it around the edge of the hole. And then I'm just going to spray my little dude. And that's the thing with the activator. It doesn't take much, but you actually have to hit your part and not miss. I keep missing because I'm trying to look at what I'm doing and look over at the camera to make sure you guys can see, or the monitor, and see what you guys can see. All right, so that's done. So now we need to put the hammer in. The hammer just sits right there. So we're going to take our glue and we are going to put a bead up that way and just a little bit back down in that pocket there. We're going to spray our dude. I'll set it in there. Give it a second. And there we go. And now we'll go ahead and put our mag on the bottom. So I'm going to take this, and actually I'll probably just put the glue on here instead of trying to put it down in the hole. Yeah. And again, I just go around the 45-degree angle around the edge. Put a good liberal amount. Spray it in the hole. And there we go. Let that set for a minute. All right, so that's in. So now we have our laser pointer bracket. And if you notice, there's a notch up top here. That notch matches there. If you take this, you have to take it and go like this, and you'll glue that on right there. And the big point in this is don't push up when you're gluing it. You want to put it up and push it a 45-degree angle. That way it actually keeps the laser with being in parallel with the top of the slide. Because you'll notice this, the frame goes up to meet the slide. There's going to be this weird open angle here. So you don't want to push up is I guess the point I'm trying to make. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put glue all down in this little groove here. And probably on the sides a little bit. I'm going to spray my guy here. I'm going to take this, turn it, rock it up, and push it a 45-degree angle. Hold pressure for a minute. Okay. Should be good, yep. So now if you, our little side bracket, if you notice there's a hole here and a stud here. And if you notice there's a stud here and a hole here. So you're just going to take this and this will get glued on just like that. What that does is that's going to form the other side of this weird little lock bracket that they made. So I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to put some in the hole there and put some around the stud there. I am going to spray that and drop that on. Hold some pressure to it. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to take my laser, and you notice there's a deep groove in there. That's where this notch sets. So you'll get it just right, and that's how it'll go on. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and just a second, let me see. Okay. I had to dig around on the floor for a minute to find the little nipple that goes into the back of the laser here, which is also where this little faux wire gets glued into this hole back here. We're going to go ahead and do all that before we glue the laser on, because it's just easier to get to everything. I could pop that down in there pretty easy, but I'm just going to take my little reamer. Also, for doing model making, if you go to Home Depot or whatever, you get a PVC pipe reamer. It's really good for doing circles and doing straight edges. The outside of circles, not so much, but so what we're going to want to do is we're going to glue this dude. Probably need to clean this dude up some right here on the edge. And you could do this with like a little piece of sandpaper or file too, if you need to clean up this edge so it pops down in that hole okay. I just don't have a file or sandpaper in here. Which at some point I am planning on doing some painting tutorial videos. I see a lot of them out there that literally make you go way above and beyond of what's necessary. This out some more. Dadgummit. Okay. And this little dude just pop into the back right there. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, let me get the little string out of the way here, is we're going to just want to glue this into the back right there. Just a little dab of glue. A little dab will do you. Oh boy, I hope my glue hasn't set here, excuse me, and dried shut. A tip on working with super glue, well, let me do this real quick and then I'll give you the tip. Stick that in the hole and push it. Then I'm going to spray. There we go. Okay. Tip with working with like super glue and stuff. When you're done, if you give it, just set it down and give it just a few seconds for the glue to run down out of here. With it straight up, if you push and then let go and do that a couple times, you'll get air and you'll pull the glue that's in the throat down and out of there. So if it doesn't dry in there and dry it shut. Like see, I got a little ball already formed around the outside there, and that's been literally since I started because I cleaned that off before I started recording. So now we're just going to want to glue this dude on right there. Pull that off. I'm just going to put a little glue on this edge and this edge. I just put it literally right there and there. I'm just going to spray that. Take the dude and pop it in. Now this right here can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. What we want to do is we want to bring our wire up and we want to like tack it with glue right there and tack it with glue down here. And once we're there, then we can take it, and if you notice there's a hole in this grip right here, and that's where this will end up at. So to me, the easiest way I found to do this is take our wire and just kind of rub our glue that's on the edge of our glue thing, which I don't think I even put it in the correct place. We'll see. I'll hit it with a little. I think I totally missed the edge where I needed to put it. Oh, I didn't. Look at that. All right, so, and what, if you're real careful about it, you'll keep it from coming out and messing up your paint job or anything. So I'm just going to go down here to this right about here and flip this over and just rub this, maybe get a little bit coming out and then suck it back in there and just tap that on there. So there's just a little bitty tiny bit of glue. Now I'm going to pull this and I'm just going to lay it right there. And I'm going to try to get it to stay. There we go. And see, if you do it with just a little bit of glue, you can have very clean attachment. So let me find a razor blade here, or you can use a pair of scissors or whatever you need to, because we need to cut this to length so it goes in there. And you, I mean, remember, it's best to cut it a little long and then go back and shave a little bit off, because if you cut it too short, you've screwed yourself. So just pull it off there, and this is going to get poked straight to that hole, just like that. So I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to put just a little dab of glue on the end of the wire instead of trying to fight with get it to the hole of, and that's just a itty bitty tiny bit of glue, just a little micro bit is all it's needed, because I mean, this isn't going to like have a lot of pressure on it or any goofy thing like that. Want it up at a little bit different of an angle there. There we go. All right. And now I'm not going to put the next thing to do is to permanently glue and affix this to the end. That's my my disclaimer. That's your responsibility. Make sure it's on there. So your Comic-Cons, all your local, state, and federal laws and stuff, you know, pretty much everywhere in the world requires an orange tip to be on a replica gun. That needs to be put on there. I'm not putting it on there yet because I am going to go through and do some paint work on this one and give this to a nephew. And then once I'm done with the paint work, that will be put on there. So I don't want to hear no crap from nobody. So tired of disclaimers and having to contact social media companies and go, this is not a real gun. It's plainly stated this is not a real gun. This is a replica that has no ability to fire. It's an ongoing daily thing with all of these companies. But anyways, let me put my glue up, put that over there, put my tools up. So there's the finished version, and well, two finished versions. If you want to know why I have two, because I did one on camera and screwed up the video file for it, and so I lost it. So there's one and there's another. So if you have any questions, just hit me up on the website or here on YouTube. YouTube's a little bit harder for me to answer questions on because the notifications aren't that great, and I get a lot of DMs and stuff there. It's easier on the website because it comes in, it'll be attached to any order you have, or if you haven't placed an order yet, it helps start the conversation there about anything that you may need, any custom stuff that you need done. But yeah, so there it is, all done. Appreciate it. Have a good one.